great to see Galopin Des Champs here today, Willie. Last seen, of course, winning very easily at Ferny House after that mishap at Cheltenham.
Yes, yeah, shade unlucky in Cheltenham, but anyhow, trying to look forward this year with him. Clonmel, the possibility it might just come a little soon for him. The John Durkin is the 11th of December, I think, this year. It seems late, but maybe we'll aim him there. And then, you know, if he did the Clonmel, he might go to Leopardstown at Christmas. If the ground was too fast in Leopardstown, which it has been over the last few years, we might just go down the album photo route and go on to Tramore, the Savills Chase down there, and maybe then go to Cheltenham. You know, so I'm trying to find a race for him around that 1st of December time. I think there's a race in Sandown as well, an intermediate chase. We're going to look at that as well. I was just afraid of the ground down the back in Sandown. It's always a bit livelier than I like. You know, we've run a few horses there over the last few years and they've been fine, but certainly had my heart in my mouth coming home out of it. Because they go so fast down the back there, and ground can be a little fast. But we'll see. We'll you know, he's in great form. He's a little behind the others, I think. You know, I'm happy enough with him. I'd love to get him out in the Clonmel Oil if I could, but I think it's going to come too soon.
Up until that mishap at Cheltenham at the last, what he'd done through the race, and up until that point, it was devastating.
It was, but in fairness, I don't think the opposition was right on the day. Henry's horse, I'd say, wasn't himself. You know, it's you know, so this fella looked visually to be super, but I'd say their horse. I don't think he appeared out after that, did he?
No.
You know, so it might be better than it looked. So, but still, we have an exciting prospect, and it's all to play for this year. You know, he looks a real Gold Cup type.
Just on that, his best performance over hurdles was 3 miles. We had to see him over that trip over fences.
I know, just the way things worked out last year. I'm delighted to see that, you know, the Power Gold Cup in, Ryanair Gold Cup in Ferny House, 2.5 miles. I thought, you know, you should go there rather than taking on Allaho in Punchestown. So he did that, proved he'd able to do that, and we all think, like you do, that he's going to be better over 3 miles. So at the moment he'd have to be a huge contender for the Gold Cup, I think.
Allaho, Willie, can never get over how big a unit he is.
Yes, I mean, just to stand here, you know, that's 16 hands, so he's well over 17, but he's very athletic, and you know, he is what he is, but he's a huge horse. Last year we started off with John Durkin, and I know this year we might have a go at the King George, so the option would be maybe to start a bit earlier for the Clonmel Oil. If the ground was nice in the Clonmel Oil, we might do that. Lots of talk whether he should go for the Gold Cup, but you know, I haven't had a chat with Cheveley Park, Mrs. Thompson or Richard, and you know, they have a Plutard going for the Gold Cup too, so maybe, you know, I think this fellow should go for the Ryanair, go back and win a third Ryanair would be a good plan to me anyhow. So, but we'll see how things work out. So if he goes for the John Durkin, it might miss Christmas and then go back to the race he ran in Thurles, Kinloch Bray, I think that is. That's the sort of plan, and then on to Cheltenham. That's the sort of plan for him. You know, it's one or the other, I think, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the season.
He was also at Punchestown over that 3 mile trip, and if he was to get to Kempton in the same kind of form, it must be exciting.
I think so. That could be something to look forward to, you know. And then people say, well, why not go for the Gold Cup? But he is by no risk at all. And I think the extra 2 furlongs in the Gold Cup up that hill, just, you know, he's got lots of class, this fellow, so it takes huge stamina, and I'm not so sure. I'd like to stick to the other plan, but you know, we'll see how the season progresses, and you know, maybe he's developing more stamina as he gets older, but at the moment I'd be happy if someone said to me, you're guaranteed another Ryanair chase. So.
And on that tempo that he can do at 2.5 miles and 3 miles now. You know, it doesn't often happen that a horse can maintain that pace that he can go out at.
That's what I think. You know, his forte is jumping out, galloping and jumping. And it's very hard to do that over 3.25 miles, you know, so it is. And sometimes you might, you know, I'd hate to break his heart doing it and get beaten because he's such a gamey horse, such a nice horse. So, anyhow.
Willie, great to get down here this morning and see Sir Gerhard going to get looking around the gallops, but how's he been after the summer break?
He's been very good, very pleased with him. Coming along very nice now. Dick rides him out all the time, he's very happy with him too, so quite pleased.
Dual Cheltenham winner, of course. He got beaten at Punchestown the festival and last seen back down to 2 miles. That was a bit of a debate last year whether he was a 2 mile or a 2.5 mile horse. He won the Ballymore course.
We went, I think we diced our Dynamo and in Cheltenham, and we decided to let sort of go the 2.5 mile race. I thought he was fast enough for the 2 mile race, but we just divided up our forces. And it worked out for him. He disappointed back in Punchestown, but I think he had disappointed in Punchestown before coming back from Cheltenham. It mightn't be the ideal thing to do, but we'll see. You know, it's just what's happened over the last couple of years anyhow.
Willie, where do you see his future lying this season?
I think he's good enough to go down the champion hurdle route, but I'd prefer to go novice chasing. But I'd like to discuss it with Mrs. Thompson and all everyone in Cheveley Park first, and we'll make a decision. But I'd be sort of heading towards the novice chase route. He
won a point on debut, of course, before joining in.
That's right. You know, I don't know what the quality of that point was, but it showed that he's well able to jump fences. He had 1 or 2 in different runs over hurdles, jumping wise, and I'm a little worried about that. But you know, who knows? Maybe he's going to be a better chaser than a hurdler.
Willie, Classical Dream, he's been a revelation since stepping up 3 miles the last couple of seasons, for all that we don't see a lot of him.
Yeah, we didn't get him out early last season. He must have had some little niggle or problem, and I'm always tempted to go novice chasing with him, but sometimes he has little issues with his back, and we've taken the view at this point anyhow that it's easier to keep him sound over hurdles, and he loves a trip, 3 miles. I'd love to get him out before Christmas. If I can get him out in the next month or so, that'd be get a run into him. And you know, we could look at the long walk hurdle, but we'd probably end up going back to Leopardstown at Christmas and then head to Cheltenham. We ran him in Gorn last year, and I think that was a bit of spur of the moment thing, which I blame myself for getting sucked into what we thought would be an easy race and not doing enough of them then after Christmas, and the whole thing just didn't work out. Lesson learned, I think, for this year. So goal would be to get back to the Stairs hurdle and back to Punchestown and maybe on to France again, where he finished second in the French champion hurdle last year. So that was a good payday as well.
Based on that, you could see him running maybe at Christmas and straight to Cheltenham potentially?
Yeah, you know, when they have a hard race over 3 miles, it takes a while to recover. And last year he might have been a little bit lucky with the start. I think he anticipated the start.
Paul did anyway.
Well, Paul told me when the horse jumped off. You know, when the horse saw the flag going, he just jumped, and Danny was trying to do the opposite on his horse, Flooring Porter, and he just got those vital few lengths which made the difference at the end. I thought he was going to win in Cheltenham this year, coming over the second last, but his run just flattened out. You know, so whether we'll do things a little different with him in Cheltenham this year or not, I don't know, but I'll leave that up to Paul.
Willie, we get a look at Capodanno here this morning. He's only 6. He was a very good winner at Punchestown at the festival.
Yeah, he's only 6. You know, I think he could be a Gold Cup horse at some stage. Likes a bit of nice ground. You know, but there's a chance we might start him off in the Ladbroke Handicap in Newbury, and you know, and work our way from there. Maybe head to Christmas in Leopardstown. You know, maybe the King George as well if he ran fairly well before that. But he's a horse with a nice bit of potential. I think he's a horse that could improve a lot at his age. So
since stepping up to 3 miles on good ground, he was brought his form to a different level as well.
I think so, and you know, that's what I think. That there's huge improvement in him, and you know, once again, we'll probably have to have a word with Connections and see what way they prefer to campaign him, because they have a lot of horses, and you know, they they maybe don't want to take on other horses they have with them. So we'll see what happens. But I think he's a Grade 1 horse every day of the week.
Willie, we've got a look at Franco De Port on the gallops here this morning, and he ran recently, of course, at Gorham Park, but he's gone a different avenue this autumn.
He is. It's funny how he redeemed himself. We were going to sell him last season, and we brought him to France and ran him in the Grand Steep, and Danny gave him a great ride to finish third. And then we revised plans, and we said maybe we should try a French programme with him rather than an English or an Irish one. And he had a nice run in Goran, getting ready for a race on 13th of November in Auteuil, the Prix La Haye Jocelyn, I think is how you pronounce it. That's about 3 miles and 5, and I think about $250,000 to the winner. So, and prize money way down, back down to 7th or 8th is good. So if he could get some of that prize money, we'd be delighted. And this is sort of in a preparation, had to have another good crack at the Grand Steep next May. So that's the route we're going to try with him. And he's owned by Americans, and they're very happy to. They're in Europe a lot, so it's good for them for an excuse to come over. And it's something different, but we're going to try it anyhow.
It's great to get a look at Ferny Hollow on the gallops here this morning. Of course, we haven't unfortunately seen him since Christmas last year, Leopardstown, where he's a brilliant winner of that Grade 1.
Yes, I mean, he's a horse with huge potential. He's just had little niggles the last couple of seasons. We haven't seen the best of him, I hope. I'm going to train him just very lightly, try to get him to the racetrack, and hopefully he's the ability that he has will shine. Shine through. We've got a few races to look at: the Fortria, the Popular Square, and the Hilly Way. I imagine he's starting one of those at the Popular Square Chase in Nace is the one that I'm sort of targeting at the moment. We've got horses for the others as well, so that looks the obvious choice. And if he, runs well there, then we'll just go the 2 mile route the whole way up to the Champion Chase for Cheltenham, and that'll be the main objective anyhow. You
kind of forget he's only 7 turning 8. You would hope the best is yet to come.
That's it. I've just got to keep him sound this time, and once in a novice hurdle he just jumped the last and caught the back of it. He just jumped it too long and injured his back, and just little problems, but they're just keeping him out for the thick end of the season. When you have a good novice or a good horse, you want to have them right for the right end of the season rather than going on a summer campaign, and he's definitely one of those type of horses. You just have to put them by and wait for the next season to come around.
Energumene was brilliant in the Champion Chase in tough conditions, Willie, and he was also equally as good at Punchestown when last seen.
Yeah, Energumene had a really good season last season. He'll probably start in the Hilly Way. He is the same choice as Ferny Hollow, but I think we'll just probably look at the Hilly Way. I'm not sure I want to go to the Tingle Creek with him, but we'll see. We'll leave that door open for the time being. And then probably on to Christmas, when we have the choice then of going back to Ascot, Clarence House, to take on Shishkin again, hopefully. He could do that and then go on to Cheltenham. Plans are fluid. I just hope all these horses stay sound and everything, but plans are fluid. But I think we probably got our tactics right the last time, even though Shishkin probably, he obviously wasn't at his best. You could see that by the time he jumped the second fence in Cheltenham. And if he makes it back this year, we should have some great clashes, I hope.
Indeed you will, but on Energumene, that run...
Well, I don't really hope that, no. I'm hoping we're ahead of the posse this year, but anyhow, for the racing public, it'll be good. It was a tremendous race last year in Ascot, and more races like that, I suppose, would be good for the whole product.
Very, very exciting, and for him to come out of Ascot and get to Cheltenham the way which he did after travelling over and having a hard race, it was a testament to his constitution.
Yeah, he's a tough horse, and we started him off probably thinking he was going to be a good 2.5 miler, and we thought he'd make into a Ryanair horse, and he can always do that too. I think he has no problem going up in trip, but he is a tough horse, and I just hope he stays like that all year. It's all about horses staying sound for the season.
Willie Vauban, perfect 3 from 3 in his last 3 runs in Grade 1 company, of course. Cheltenham, fantastic win.
Yeah.
Punchestown the same. He's only 4 turning 5.
He's only 4 turning 5. Looks champion hurl prospect. Ooh. The obvious place to start him off is in the Fishery Lane in Nace. 4-year-old hurl carries penalty there. But I'm going to give him an entry in the Morgiana, and we'll see how he works between now and then. You know, maybe it's as well just go to the Morgiana and take on the big boys. You know, he's stepping out of novice company now. And it's tough for a 4-year-old turning 5, I think, to take on those champion hurdle horses, but he's going to have to do it at some stage. So, you know, we'll see how he progresses, but everything is going well at home. And, you know, all being well, then he'll line up in Cheltenham in March for the champion hurdle. Sometimes, you know, I wonder if they miss that, then maybe go to Aintree for the 2.5 mile hurdle there. You know, that seems to be better for 5-year-olds, I think. I don't know why it is, but it seems to work better than the champion hurdle. But that, you know, all those things are in the future.
That transition from juvenile hurling to the senior ranks, if you like, he's got a good attributes. You think he jumps well, he travels well, you'd hope that'll stand him in good stead.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think he's as good a juvenile as I've seen for a while. So, but it's a big step up, you know, and we'll see. Have to make our minds up which way we're going, the Fishery Lane or the Morgiana. So
it's interesting you mentioned 2.5 mile hurdle for me. Just thinking time he could stay, or is it just a
I think he'd have no bother staying. Yeah, I mean, it's not where I want to go, but I think he'd have no bother staying with his pedigree and everything. Yeah, he'll do that all right. And
physically, he looks like he's done well over the summer.
He has done well, good form, everything. I've no negatives about him at all. You know, so just fingers crossed stays right. If he doesn't eat me in the meantime. Yeah. Okie-do. Thanks.
Facile Vega, Willie, fantastic year last year, 4 from 4, emulated his dam Vega with that Cheltenham success.
Yeah, I mean, I was really taken with his win in Cheltenham. You know, just coming from the position he did, back of the field and all that muck and everything flying by. I didn't think any horse had come through that. And just when Patrick moved on him, he just took into a different gear, you know, and that's what he shows me at home. He's got, I think, a huge amount of ability. We'll go novice hurdling. Hopefully he's good enough for the Supreme Novice, you know, Ballymore. Either one will do me. Probably look more like a stair, I'd say, the way he won his bumpers, but he has plenty of class too. So we'll see how he jumps, but if he like his dam, you know, she went back 6 times in Cheltenham and won, and she was easy enough to get ready. So he's one we're really looking forward to. I don't know where I'm going to start him off. We'll wait for the right opportunity, and when it comes, we'll just start him off. I'm not too worried. He doesn't have to go to a Leopardstown or Punchestown to start off, but it'd be nice if something comes up at the right time. But you know, we've often gone down the country with our nice horses just to get them going at the right time.
Stature-wise, he's a big unit.
He is big horse, but he moves well, carries himself well. He's a great mover. So, you know, just want to keep him sound. And he got a little jarred the first time I worked him the year before. He won 2 years ago, and we had to put him by. And so we're very, very careful with him. David Porter rides him all the time. He knows him well, and his main instruction for me at the start of the season is don't let me work him too hard. So he tells me if he thinks I'm doing too much with him, and we just scale back. I think he has the sort of ability that can get himself, you know, as he races on the track, he'll be getting ready all the time.
When you know so much about the family, about the dam, what similarities does he have to Vega?
Well, she had a lovely temperament in the stable. He has too, and he has a lovely temperament out on the track. She could be a little bit of a madam at the start. You know, Ruby used to have to sort of gear up a few times at the start in Cheltenham, but he doesn't show any of that sort of tendency. He's a very kind individual, does everything he's asked, and he's always looking to do more. So that's better for him, I think. Yeah.